Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to see how we can update an OmniScript from a FlexCard. Let's move on and understand when do we need this with the help of a business scenario. So in the requirement, we need a step in our guided experience, that is our OmniScript, where users can see a list of accounts and corresponding to each account, there must be an action item which enables the user to create a related contact. And this would look something like this. Now let's see how we can achieve this with the help of a demo. Let's create a FlexCard first. For the data source, let's go ahead and select SOQL query. We would simply fetch name and ID. And let's limit it to 3 records. Let's quickly save it. Okay, our FlexCard is now saved. Before activating this FlexCard, let's go over some important setups. Go to the setup. The repeat options needs to be checked because we want this particular card to repeat for every record that we're getting from the database. OmniScript support should be checked because we want to embed this particular FlexCard on the OmniScript. And let's activate it. Let's quickly create an OmniScript. Alright, let's embed the FlexCard onto the OmniScript. We select custom web components. Select from the list of available FlexCards. And let's activate this. Alright, so we are getting the data as we expected, but we are not getting any actions corresponding to every account name. So let's go ahead and make that change as well. We go to design and we have to add an action element. Let's try to fit it in so that it comes right beside the account name. And let's try to change how it looks. So we are going to hide the icon. We are going to display it as a button, and we are going to use a brand styling for the same. Actually, let's change it to yeah, looks good. Now let's change the label to plus contact. Okay. And now we have to configure this particular action. So in the action type, we are going to select update OmniScript, because whatever data that this FlexCard is fetching from the database, it needs to pass it on to the OmniScript. After receiving the data that is passed from the FlexCard to the OmniScript can process it, maybe send it to a DataRaptor load or an integration procedure, and can act accordingly. Now that we have selected action type as update OmniScript, we need to give a parent node. So the parent node is actually the name of the parent node that we are going to send from the FlexCard to the OmniScript, and within this particular node we can send a number of nodes. Let's see how. Let's name it as data, and within this data node we will send something named as account ID, and this is going to get the value from the ID that we have fetched using the SOQL query. Alright, let's activate this. Let's go to the OmniScript. Refresh the page. And now you can see we are getting a create contact button corresponding to each account name. Let's have a look at the data.json. As soon as I click any one of these buttons, the data.json would update and we should get back the updated data. Here it is. Inside the step 1, we have a custom LWC component, and inside that component we are receiving the parent node that we set in the Lightning Web component, that is our FlexCard, and inside this data object we must be receiving the account ID. Now this account ID would change every time I select a different account. As you can see. Now let's go ahead and make use of this particular data JSON and create a related contact. For that, we would just deactivate this OmniScript. We go to design, we go to build, and we select a DataRaptor post action for the record creation. Let's create a DataRaptor quickly. For the object, I am going to select contact. We are not making use of formulas for now. Speaking about formulas, if you haven't seen my video on OmniStudio formulas, I would highly recommend you to watch those videos. It's very helpful. So please check that out. And in the input JSON, we will paste the JSON that we have just copied from our active OmniScript when we were testing it in the preview. And this is the kind of data that we are going to receive in this DataRaptor. Before moving on with the mapping in DataRaptor, let's go and create the necessary fields that we want. In a block, let's get rid of this field label and give it a conditional view. So the condition is custom LWC1 colon data colon account ID does not equal to blank. Save it. And as soon as we are getting values in the account ID, we should display a last name as input text. Now for the time being, we are only considering one field which is mandatory for contact creation. You can go ahead and add other fields like email and phone and the first name. For now, we'll keep it simple and add only last name. Let's preview it once. Actually, we need to activate it. All right, let's preview it. As soon as we click on any contact button, it's going to make the last name field visible. All right, seems to be working fine. Let's deactivate it and go to the design. All right, so we go back to the DataRaptor that we created and we update this input JSON and we again do a quick match. So we have step 1, block 1, and actually let's do it manually. It's going to be step 1, block 1, and then text 1. And let's map it with the last name. Okay. And at this point, it should send an error stating that the last name is not present, which is a mandatory field. Yeah, here it is. All right, I think it should be working fine now. So actually, let's just do one thing. After this DataRaptor, let's add another element, which is navigate action, so that after we are done creating a contact record, it should navigate to somewhere. So let's select the object as account. Record action would be view, and let's update this with step 1, custom LWC, data, and then account ID. This is basically the record ID that we need to navigate to, and this is going to be the account. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's activate this and try to host it on a home page or something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and put this OmniScript on the home page. So we search for home from the app launcher. We would edit the page and add our OmniScript. Simply drag and drop it. Let's save the page. Activate the page. Okay, the activation is successful. Let's go back and let's check it out if our OmniScript is working or not. So these are the accounts that we are fetching from the database. Let's go ahead and create a contact for Burlington Textiles Corp of America. As soon as we click on contact, there should be a last name field visible on the same UI. Here it is. Let's give it some random name. Let's click on next. And here we are redirected to the Burlington Textile Corp of America account. And you can see the contact related has been created over here. So that's it for today's guys. Thank you for tuning in and see you in the next video.